my report on my computer. We're good to go, guys. We started.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I could see.
You know our voices.
We're here listening, Bob.
There, okay, I got pictures of you. Last time I had everybody in front of me. Okay.
Can we ask, hi, Sam Olicia, yeah, nah. Can we ask who you are today? Are you public participation?
Yeah, you're right now.
Samolchek, it's Mark Samolchek.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, go ahead and get started. Mayor
right.
Bob, we're gonna do roll call.
Okay, here you go. Before I call the meeting to order, I ask you for join me in a moment of prayer. Dear Lord, we ask you to be with us tonight during this meeting. We ask you to be in our hearts and our minds as we conduct business for the village and for the citizens of the village. Lord, during this time, we ask that you be with everyone that is involved with this pandemic, and we ask for the safety and the well-being of not only people in Navarre, but throughout the country and throughout the world. Lord, we pray this in thy holy name. Amen.
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 Okay, you guys out there see a flag, and I have a flag in here, so we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
flag
of the United States of America,
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty, justice for all.
Okay. I'm going to call a roll call, and Pat Winkart.
Here. I'm right here by Jerry.
Justin Klein.
Here.
Liz Erball.
Here.
Daniel Rouse.
Here.
Josh Smith.
Here.
Derek Netzley.
Here.
Okay, all present. The reading of the minutes of the preceding meeting, unless such reading shall be dispensed by consent of 2/3 of the vote. Somebody make a motion to dispense the reading of the minutes.
As read.
Second.
Okay. Pat Winkart.
Second.
Justin Klein.
Aye.
Liz Erball.
Hi.
Daniel Rouse.
He said aye.
Okay. Josh Smith.
Aye.
Derek Netzley.
Aye.
Okay, and we have two guests with us out there, right?
We have, Mayor, we have two guests who are live. That is Bob Dehoff and John Walsh. And on the computer, we have Mark Samolchek. They're all here for the same purpose. And they really probably come under solicitor's agenda.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, is anybody for public participation? They're both here. Those three are here because of what we're going to be talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, first I have on the report to council, Chief. Where's Chief? I lost him.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. I passed out your report to council,
Okay.
and
Yeah, I dispersed that ahead of time.
okay.
Yeah, really slow right now. I mean, with everything going on with the COVID, we're not really running that much traffic. The calls are way down. The type of calls that we're seeing now are more of your domestic type calls, domestic oriented calls, because everybody being confined together. But with the things being lifted, we're hoping that starts to loosen up a little bit, but everybody's still practicing the safe distance and social distancing and everything. So no big cases standing out. like I said, the mileage is down on the cars. We're still operating just like we did as it started with. If it's a call that we can handle on station, it'll be with the glass separating us from the citizen. If we go to a call, the guy, they're to utilize their mask unless, discretionary. So, but that's really what I got.
I just got an email tonight from somebody from the county and said they had masks that they were going to be sending out to the different communities. And they gave me, they didn't want me to overestimate, but they wanted me to include the fire and the police department and the different people in the village. And I told them that I thought 75 or 80 would probably be enough for us. So.
Yeah, that would probably be enough. We're good up there. We've had so many. We had John O'Day make us some, plus we've had multiple donations. So us up at the police department, we're doing pretty good. So we want you to disperse those to whoever else could really utilize them. So.
Okay, that sounds good. On the clerk treasurer's agenda coming up, she had passed out the information and you have it. I emailed it to everybody. And what happened to Rouse? I don't see him on my picture.
Who?
Rouse, where is he?
He's here in the council chambers.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Daniel, you got the information that I sent out to everybody? If you don't, I gave you copies of it right there in front of you. So you should have it. With that being said, she has on the, we have the second reading by title only of ordinance 9/2020. An ordinance, second reading by title only, enacting new section 10.19 of the Navarre regulations. So that was by title only, so we just did that. Terry, I'm going to go into your agenda, and that should be the most of the meeting.
Right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say about 2 minutes worth, and then I'm going to invite Bob and John, and they'll sit in front of my computer. We have a pending proposed ordinance 8-2020. Each of the council members should have a packet supporting that, and I'll give something to Dan Rouse in a minute. So he's got it.
He should have copies.
We will have a planning commission meeting Thursday, May 28th, at which time the planning commission will issue a report on the proposed ordinance. And then on June 1st at 6 p.m., there will be the public hearing before council that's been advertised. And by then will have been advertised for over 30 days. Immediately following that, the ordinance 8-2020 will be up for its third reading and potential final passage. What I'm going to do is step aside, let Bob and John sit in front of the computer or stand or whatever and make a presentation, and they'll be available to answer the questions. And
okay.
they also have a copy of the packet that I prepared for council.
Right.
So. If you're uncomfortable, you can take off your mask.
Okay.
Bob, you look pretty good on video.
Hi, Bob.
Hi there, everyone. Good to be here. John Walsh, our civil engineer from GBC, is here as well. Briefly, we are working with a company through Jobs Ohio, and Team Neo that are looking to build a large distribution building. And they want the ability to expand. They've looked at sites in Northeast Ohio and in Central Ohio, and we're working through a broker out of Chicago and Cleveland, a global real estate company that handles these type of site searches. They have told us that we're one of 2 sites in Ohio that this company, codenamed Redbone, is considering. We've also been told by the broker in Chicago that they're also looking at 2 other sites in states that border Ohio. They haven't identified which states that would be. I imagine it's Indiana and possibly Kentucky. This particular client has put us through a number of due diligence exercises that our civil engineer has actually spent quite a bit of time assembling all sorts of data that they need in order to make a decision as to where they're going to locate. Obviously, this decision is based on all sorts of data, utilities, capacities, the community that they're going to be in, is it friendly or not friendly to business, and labor pool. All these things are very important to this particular company. The matter that I'm here before tonight is that they need the ability to construct a building, and they'd like it as high as 60 feet, which is for a warehouse today, as you know, high ceilings. There's now a very much of a factor when they build these facilities. They have high level storage capacity machinery that can store things high in the air. So on this particular, we're good on all fronts except the residential front to the south, and we're asking for a variance. The variance would permit a 60-foot building. However, it would be back 250 feet from the residential zone. With that, we're aware early on when we first got involved with the farm, Mayor Benson made it very clear that he wanted to make sure that we gave proper protection to those people that live in the, I think it's called the Shadow Ridge.
Shadow Lawn.
Shadow Lawn.
Yeah.
So our civil was asked to provide a large land of earth barrier that would be landscaped, and that's what we are proposing. The width would be approximately 75 feet, no less than, and no less than 8 feet high. I think we haven't selected the type of trees we're going to plant.
You show a white pine, something that would grow fast and fill in fast.
Yeah, we've had good success with white pine trees. I think the height is in that 6 foot range, 6 to 7, and they grow well. We've had success with that in the past, in the last 30 years when we built these mounds. So we believe it'll be, frankly, a attractive barrier and one that will provide a nice shield to those people, those homes that back up against this farm. John, do you have anything to add to that? You can step aside if you like. Yeah, it's even shorter than that.
You mentioned in the drawing that the side that would face the residences is the side where the tractor trailers would park, right? Of the proposed building, the tractor trailers would be the part that would be closer to the residents. It isn't like it would be anything noisy.
There's a pretty face.
Get it right or not?
Okay,
Yeah.
that, I know I have copies of that. And John, is that something you're gonna be able to leave at the village?
Yeah, the members here have a copy and I can leave. I got 5 or 6 extra that I can leave here for if folks want to stop in and pick them up.
Okay, that's,
Confidential, correct?
This is a public meeting. so-
No, this is fine.
Everything's being shown
And then
here.
I'll have copies from my planning too.
Right. What we're trying to do is install that buffer, all the way around on the north side of the allotment and the east side of the allotment.
Nice.
There's one little break that's in there. That's where an existing ditch or stream goes through. So we got to leave that gap through there. I don't think we can fill the stream in.
John, this would be on the south side of it, it'd be next to that shadow lawn, though, right?
Proposed site is, I'm here.
When the barrier we're talking about is on the south side of the plant. It would be between shadow lawn, right?
Right, it'd be between our project and the shadow on their rear lots.
Okay, yeah, because it's on the other side of the street. I don't know where the property line is there. Our footage would be from the edge of that property line to the building. And that's what we're trying to reduce, but that will still allow us to have that buffer zone that you're agreeing to put into.
And then there's a slight tree row that goes along the property that's there now. Most of it's in agriculture, but that tree buffer that's there, we would leave that also.
Right, right,
Okay, I can ask a question.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw the tree line. It's beautiful for coverage anyways, and we're gonna put more in, correct? Who's
Right.
responsible though if like, say decay comes in for those trees or whatever, like, who would be the responsible party to replace those?
Right now, that would be the property owner.
Yeah, see, Liz, that tree line that's there now is on the shadow lawn property, that tree line there. The Prospect Park property starts just on the other side of that tree line.
Okay, well, that's good to know, so they can
Yeah.
control that if they need be.
Right, right.
Okay,
What our new piece will be north of what they already have.
okay,
Is that right, John? John?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
okay. Can I ask one more quick question since I'm unmuted? Maybe you've answered this and maybe I missed it in the information, but how do trucks enter and exit the area? They don't go anywhere near the residential area, right? Like the shady lawn, they go out the other way towards like Navarre Road. Is that correct?
Yeah, the main entrance will be through Navarre Road, out
Okay.
past Sterilite, how they come in now.
That's
Yeah.
what I wanted to know. Thank you.
The truck traffic should be going north. Terry?
There's also, Mayor, probably going to be a secondary access out onto Full Road.
Right, right.
That's for them to go full to the east to pick up the the interchange on 77
Right, right.
and Full Road to come in through there.
Yeah, because if they're going to go up to Route 30, they're going to take Sterilite and go out that way. That road coming out on Full would be good for employees and cars traffic. And then I've kind of figured the trucks might come out and go east out to 77 that way.
That's correct.
Terry?
Yes.
You have that handout. You added a couple more villages and cities to it with what they already have. And then what I've found out that many of them have less than what we already had, so.
Yes, council members, I'm back in. The purpose of that handout, I basically took a look at the various communities in Stark County plus one in Wayne County, Orville, just to see, what do they do with respect to setbacks to a residential district and maximum height for industrial buildings. And I just, with a ruler and a pencil, prepared that line of sight, the diagram. And what it shows is that the proposed 250-foot setback for a 60-foot building is probably no more, or just barely more visible from the residential district than a 40-foot building with a 200-foot setback. And you have to recall that the site plan that John Walsh has prepared, the southern edge of the expansion, the furthest south this 60-foot building would ever get, is actually going to be around 290 feet. And the building may or may not actually ever be up to 60 feet. We don't know that. It could end up being less. But the purpose of the exercise was to show that even the new proposed setback for a 60-foot building would still, from the standpoint of an adjacent residential district, be the most protective in the county by far. Even if you look at North Canton's 35-foot maximum height, which I guarantee North Canton will violate in a second if it could get a good development. The setback that they have, it's going to be a 35-foot building in North Canton, with that setback will be more intrusive on a residential district than a 60-foot high building in Prospect Park would be to Shadow Lawn. And the other thing is, and you all have been by it, you have the 50-foot right-of-way Lena Street, which is actually part of the residential zone, and then it's like another 50 feet or so to the front doors of the closest houses. The expansion, if it's ever constructed, will be 400 feet from the front doors of these homes. So take that for what it's worth. But I mean, I think that Navarre is competing not just for this project, but for other projects with other communities. And when I first started looking, I was just kind of curious. What does North Canton do? What does Plain Township do? What does Canal Fulton do? I was shocked at how close they'll let an industrial building get to a residential zone compared to what we have in Prospect Park, and even what's proposed for Prospect Park. I mean, we would still be the most protective community within Stark County in terms of industrial buildings next to a residential zone by far. And the developer here, I mean, if this comes in, I mean, Bob and John have told you they're going to do some mounding, additional screening, which is required by the zoning code anyway.
Right.
But, I mean, council can do what it wants, but I think, these kind of opportunities, if this opportunity materializes, and I know that Bob and John and Mark Samolchek and others and Jobs Ohio are working hard to make this or something similar to it happen. This could change. This could be a game changer for Navarre for 30 years to come.
Yeah, Terry, I just want to say, last meeting we had so many questions. I think through the email information you gave us a lot of, I can finally put the pieces together. So I think, but prior to that, when it was just like, hey, we're going to pass this, I had no clue what what I was even looking at. And I know you can't say everything. You were getting permission to say what you could. but I appreciate all the emails you sent. You did a great job with that, and I feel like I can make a good decision based off that. So I appreciate it, Terry.
You pretty much know as much as I know.
What was
Yeah.
that, Terry?
You pretty much know as much as I know now.
Well,
I
now,
think it's
yeah.
a great opportunity for the village, for residents, for the county. And with that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance 8-2020.
And I'd like to second it.
Yeah, and much as I'd love to have this passed at this meeting, statutorily, we have to have the planning commission
Right.
Oh, by
meet
June.
on May 28th. They theoretically, they have up to 30 days to issue a report, but we will ask them to issue a report on May 28th that will be given to council on June 1st.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask that council consider the ordinance on June 1st.
Yeah,
That's right.
we have a hearing at our
We
next,
have to have the public hearing also.
That's right. I forgot about that.
yeah, we have the hearing at 6 o'clock at our next meeting. And then at 7 o'clock, we have our regular meeting and we'll take action on it then. We'll also have the third and final reading on that ordinance 9. Terry, going back, when you were investigating all the setbacks and everything like that, did you happen to see if other communities have,
Coming around the station to handle the pending call break.
if they had the setback requirements and the buffering that we have in ours?
Yeah, many of them have screening requirements. I mean, I actually brought with me all of those zoning codes, just in case somebody said, I think you're making that up, Terry. I'm here to prove to anybody, no, I'm not making it up. So they're here, and they'll be on the table at the public meeting on June 1st. Anybody can go through them. And the reason Canton isn't in there is because in going through Canton's code, it is so, with due respect to their law department or whoever, it is so poorly written that I can't understand what the heck their height and setback requirements are.
Must
But
be-
to me, Jackson Township and Plain Township and Brewster and Canal Fulton and Orville are really more akin to Navarre.
They probably must have been written up by a lawyer.
Pardon? It was probably written by a lawyer.
Yeah, right. Derek, did you write down when we did the roll call and the passing of the minutes? Did you write down who?
No, I did not. Everybody who's here voted aye, so I'll write them down.
I didn't know who made the motion, who
I
seconded.
made the motion, Liz seconded, when we haven't voted yet.
No, I'm talking about the roll call and the,
Yeah, I made the motion to accept the minutes, Pat made seconded, and then everybody voted aye.
okay, that's Derek and Liz. And then the one for second reading on the, oh, that was by title only, never mind. Okay. Okay, the, under my,
Bob?
yes,
Yeah. I don't know if I got any feedback on the potential increase in the, what I'll call the fine for zoning violations.
oh, yeah.
How do people feel? Do you want to have the fine updated from the 1964 number?
Yes.
It's 25 to 50 now. According to the Federal Reserve, that should now be about 208 to 416, but we could make it 200 to 400.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I agree.
What I'll do is I'll prepare an ordinance, and it'll be a 3 reading ordinance.
Okay, and we'll have that next meeting, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's my report. That's the solicitor's report.
okay. Under mine, I had the update on the Navarre community alert tornado siren. I talked to Tim Worsley today at County Emergency Preparedness, and I got some information on it. They do not encourage sirens anymore. He gave me a history that in the past, the sirens was mostly to contact the firefighters to let them know that there was a fire. With the update of radios and communications, they don't use that anymore. Nobody uses that to be notified about the siren, about a fire call. Brewster still has theirs going off just because they like the residents to know that they have a fire call. I did check with Paul and I told him that our siren was up and working, and about that we didn't have a problem with paying for the maintenance of it and so on and so forth, but we would like the fire department to take the responsibility of it because they have the contact with the Red Center and all the information back and forth. He suggested that we have an agreement, it's just a policy agreement, that Navarre will maintain the expense of it, but the actual testing and the functioning and everything else be through the fire department. And then when I put my fire hat on and go back to the next meeting, I'll take that to them. And I don't think they're going to have a problem with it because they more or less suggested it at the last meeting. But I did find out that I think in where they do have the sirens is up around Lawrence Township. And the main reason for the outdoor sirens in those locations is because of they have many outdoor activities like Clays Park and camping grounds and so on and so forth. And they thought it was important that they still had the audible sirens. I did find out that they had lawsuits that when they had the siren tested, they used to test it, I don't know, once a week or once a month, that there is a farmer that had lawyers and had studies, and he found out that when that siren went off, that their milk production dropped for like 3 days later. And it was because of the cows being upset from the siren. They had to make special arrangements that when they tested a siren, they only did it at half power. So what they're suggesting that it's good if we want to keep the siren, and since we have the siren and use it for a tornado siren, that we go ahead and continue to use it as long as we do. He said what most communities do, and they did in other communities, when they no longer desire to have a outside tornado warning, that they do away with it. They get like 50 or so of those Weather Channel radios that they bring into Village Hall. They offer people that they can come in and buy a radio at expense for like $20, and they have it. And then if they get an alert, it goes off with that radio. If they don't have smartphones or whatever they have to do that. And that's what they said, that the price of putting the tornado sirens in now is astronomical. They can buy radios for every resident for the amount of money that it costs to put a siren in.
I just wanted to second that because one of my friends, she's like 10 years younger than me. She's got one. So like, and she's got a cell phone, but they didn't hear it go off. But I would appreciate educating the community and making sure everybody has information on how to make sure that their alerts are on their phone and everything else before they have the options available to them, I guess.
That's something that's going to come up right now. Our siren works. Zach got it working. Everything works the way it's supposed to, but it is vulnerable to lightning strikes, and if it ever goes out again, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea to get a bunch of those radios in here. And he said they're like $20, and they can come in and pay for their radio. And at that time, we just do away with having a siren, when the time comes, And I did find out, which I think I have a smartphone, but it's not a smartphone, a smart TV. And Tim was telling me that the last tornado warning, his smart TV turned on and started on with that alert. Now, mine didn't do that. We got it on the phones, but the new smart TVs will actually come on and give the alert, you know, in their homes. So anyway, that was my update, and I'll take that to the fire trustees meeting next time I go. And if we write it up, it'll probably be a policy for them.
Mayor? Yeah, Mayor, this is Terry. We still have Mark. It's a public meeting. He's welcome to stay on, but I would tell Mark that we excused Bob Dehoff and John Walsh. So if you can stay on, but nobody would think any less of you if you left the meeting and did something else.
No, Mark, you're gonna miss the good part. This is where it gets good.
Okay.
Mayor Benson, I would like to remind you that I serve also as the mayor of the Village of Hills and Dales.
Yay!
So I'm trying to figure out, how do you conduct these meetings via Zoom?
Well, as you
This
can
is a
see,
learning experience for me.
well, as you can see, it wasn't quite as smooth as it probably could be.
Oh, it was very smooth.
It's our second meeting, and if I didn't have Liz up there to take over when I didn't know what buttons to push or anything else, what's really nice about it is the recording. We record it to the cloud, and then it'll come on, and anybody can get a copy of it, and it's very good quality. The clerk treasurer really liked it. I'm thinking about when we go back in the council chamber to have it set up in a corner and do our recordings that way, you know. But it's worked out real well.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to help, so.
Yeah, she's
I will take you up on that.
Okay.
Hey, Hills and Dales, not Barb Bennett, back when her dad, Hammondtree.
Jim
Yeah.
Hammondtree.
He was mayor up there.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
A few decades ago.
Yeah. Well, see, Navarre's got just as nice as citizens. They might not be quite as uppity, but it was
Thank
wonderful.
goodness.
It was,
All I can say is thank goodness.
it was wonderful having you on here.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to sign off because I think it's dinner time.
Okay.
Thanks
All
for
right.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Mark.
Bye-bye.
Holy cow. Mayor of Hills and Dales. Okay, Zach, wait, now let me see what else I got on mine. Okay, Terry already talked about, we have a planning commission scheduled for the 28th. And all members that have indicated they're going to be there. And when we have the meeting, or we plan on having our meeting back at Village Hall on the 1st. Liz, you're welcome. I'll have it hooked up if you want to still do it remote, you know.
We can try that. Yeah.
But I have masks here and everything that
Yeah.
I can hand out, but we're gonna have it here because of the hearing, and I'm gonna have everybody have masks. But if you feel more comfortable doing it this way, I'll have the laptop hooked up and you can be a part of it.
Okay, I appreciate that. I mean,
Told I look better this way.
Look, I think Terry's gonna run.
Terry, you should be you should be like a face mask model. Like you look a little bit like a robber, but you're innocent. You know, you got it. Or a surgeon. You look like a surgeon.
I was thinking of wearing a ski mask.
Okay, at the next meeting, we're gonna have the certificate of codified ordinances. We got that today, and I'll have that on at the next meeting too. So Terry, you got that one ordinance that you're gonna have ready for 3 readings. And then
Correct.
I think the last time when we did the codified ordinance, you had us do 3 readings on that too, so.
Right.
Okay, we'll go to Zach's portion?
I don't have too much to report today other than,
Is that a hat?
what?
Is he got a hat on?
No.
Look at that thing behind his
The
head.
next street sweep is Wednesday.
Okay,
Liz, if you can put that on Facebook.
okay.
Uh,
Liz, you got that?
We had a water leak last Monday on, sorry, drawing a blank here, on Sprinkle. Yes, and then we put a new service in on Jacob Street to the new house. I got the CCR in at the printers. That's always due by July 1st. Sewer plant, like I said, everybody's trying to operate normally and trying to stay safe. And I talked to Don about the roads. He's working on that, and hopefully he'll have it by first week of June around there, and we can get that out for bid.
It sounds good.
What'd you say about sprinkles, Zach?
I said we had a leak.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Mayor, we also missed the mosquito spraying.
Oh, we got a,
New contract.
I just need you to authorize me to sign the contract. You have copies of it.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Hey, wait a second. Derek
Derek and then Liz.
is. Hey, Pat,
Yes.
you say yeah.
Yes, she said yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Daniel. Daniel. Is Daniel awake?
Yes, he said yes.
Okay.
He's wide awake.
Yes, Bob.
Josh
Aye. Aye.
and Derek.
Aye.
Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go around to the council members and see if you have anything for any of us. I'll start out with Pat.
I think the older people in Navarre do rely on the tornado siren. We really have to educate them if we changed things. Okay, so Don Donner is working on the street bids. What about, what did I talk about the last time? The hydrants, when are they gonna flush the hydrants? The hydrants, the water hydrants, we talked about flushing them
Well,
before.
the one thing we're worried about is with them guys working, we try not to flood them out.
Not while the gas company's working.
Yeah, we talked about doing it, me and Blake, and then we kind of thought if we, for the time being, we're to put it off because we start flooding them out while they're working. That wouldn't be
Yeah,
good.
okay. What about that tree on Market Street with all this rain? Did anybody contact those people? It said,
That's that one on their.
Market Street near the railroad tracks, which is a violation of property maintenance code, and therefore a letter should be sent to the resident.
Yeah, Jim is held up in West Virginia. He's got mask on and guards on, and he's scared to death of the virus. I haven't spoken to him, but I will contact him to see if.
Well, how hard could it be to send them a letter or
Yeah.
knock on their door or something?
Yeah.
And then, I'm in favor of the poop ordinance for the dog poop. And St. Clement's Festival is canceled.
It is canceled, okay.
Yes, but the end of June, they will sell sausage sandwiches, but we'll have advertising.
Okay. You like a dog poop ordinance?
Well, if somebody else wants to work on it too, but I can understand what the people are complaining about.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize we did. I know they're on a leash, but I didn't know that we didn't.
But
Have,
as I understand it, they're on a leash, which allows the dog to poop in the neighbor's yard.
they take the leash and let him go on the tree lawns. I know that.
Well, I don't think that's right, and I wouldn't like it at my house.
Okay.
But those people are moving, the Wickhams are moving anyhow. You know that they're going to Vietnam.
Vietnam, really? Now, is that Gallo? Gallo's going?
Steve Wickham, not my neighbor, Steve Wickham is moving, the one who complained
Oh,
on
okay.
High Street.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's all I have.
Okay, the dog poop ordinance and, okay.
I'm in favor of the sirens until otherwise, because people don't
Well,
know any different.
right now they're working, so I'm
Yeah.
anticipating through
There's
the,
a tornado, we'll all hear it.
yeah, and if it gets struck by lightning, we'll address it then.
Yes, thank you, Bob.
That's what happened the last time it was struck by lightning. Justin,
I have nothing for council tonight.
okay. How's your hair?
It's still pretty long. I can't do much with it, but
Okay.
I figured I'd let everybody else go to the barber first,
Yeah.
and I'll get the second wave.
See, us old people still can't go. I'm gonna look like Walt Houston pretty soon. Okay. Liz,
All right, so I have some good news. The new park equipment that was put on hold because of the whole coronavirus, they are starting that on June 1st.
oh,
So
good.
you'll see construction down there. Zach, you'll probably need to know that. Or get with Jimmy, he knows more than I do. And with the siren and thing, if we talk about adopting these $20 whatevers, with my master's in education, I'm not trying to like flout my degree, like I'm still working on it. But right now, like they really say that with any innovation or something new to the public, it takes them a while to like build on it, like to actually like accept it. So what I suggest though is there's an overlap, like keep the alarm and advertise for at least a good year to make sure everybody feels comfortable with that siren. And then the other thing, I wish Dennis was on here. I was gonna ask, because I heard that there was kind of like a toss up, like is the dog poop a police thing or not? And basically, I just wanted to know from Dennis, I guess maybe I'll ask him myself, like, are animals a big problem? I know Stark County got an animal control warden or whatever.
Yeah, we don't have, what we've always done, the police do, when they have a dog loose, they can be cited for it if they're not on leash and they're running other people's yards and stuff like that. I think like the most they do with the if the dog's poop and then they see somebody not picking it up or something like that. But as far as going around and trying to investigate who did it, or you know,
Okay.
even if they get
There is one repeated offender, like the one, he's the sweetest dog, but he always comes down to the Navarre Bethlehem Park, like, and I can't even walk my dogs because they don't do well with a dog off leash. Like, not.
When the police, a lot of people go down and let their dogs run. And the police, if they see them down there, they will go and tell them that
Okay.
they're supposed to be doing it, you know.
Yeah. Well, this guy's been around for a while, so. Yeah, that's all I have. I'm excited for the new park equipment. I appreciate everybody what they're doing to make the world go round for the village. So
Yeah,
peace out.
that sounds good. Thanks, Liz. Daniel.
Dan is saying that he does not have anything for this meeting.
Okay. Josh.
Yeah, I'd be in favor and chime in with Pat and Liz on a dog ordinance there. I mean, it is a nuisance. My other thing was Memorial Day parade got canceled. What would it take? And I'm asking this to everyone. What would it take if we wanted to have one for 4th of July?
I had that in the back of my mind that we could do something on the 4th of July. What the VFW, and we encouraged everybody, and I said that at the last meeting, we're not having a Memorial Day, you know, the ceremony, but we are asking people to put their flags out. And I think in Navarre, it's amazing how many people already do fly their flags, you know. But I was kind of looking at the 4th of July and maybe having something a little bit special. And I hadn't thought about a parade. The chief doesn't like parades, but that doesn't matter. We could still try to get something lined up. Why are you smiling, Zach? I'm gonna tell him it was your idea. The dog ordinance. Terry, are you gonna be able to have something together for the dog poop ordinance?
I could, I mean, I sent everybody a copy of the North Canton, the dog poop ordinance, and then Liz apparently, who's much more computer literate than me, found like a bunch of them. So
I thought,
Yeah, it's not plausible to catch somebody literally like pooping on the sidewalk because you have police all around New York City. That's just there. That's what it is. This part is tricky because is it civil law? Do they take it kind of to like a civil suit, like if they wanted to?
Couldn't we do have the dog leash? Couldn't we just add that to the dog leash? And I'm surprised that it's not.
That makes. But it's a property thing too. Like that's my property line. Something's invading it, and now it's on a leash, but it's not really free.
Well, what we do have a problem in town already, where a neighbor is complaining about a tied-up dog that the leash isn't short enough, and it comes into his property and poop. And we've already determined that that's kind of a citizen's civil complaint between neighbors. You know, it would be hard to
Bob,
do it. But
Bob, on a dog poop ordinance, I'm more than happy to draft an ordinance, make it a 3-reading ordinance, and let everybody, including the police chief, weigh in, and whether you pass it or not is up to you. But I would probably cheat and just use the North Canton ordinance and maybe change a couple words if needed to make it Navarre specific, but I'd be happy to do that. And then whatever happens, happens. It either gets passed eventually or it doesn't.
With the leash one, that's only while they're on the leash. What Liz is talking about when they're going in other people's yards, and at that time they're running loose and they're not supposed to because we already have.
Either if they're loose and or in this situation, the guy literally has them on a control leash that's over 8 foot, which like I know Stark Park says you have to have an 8-foot leash. That's it, like on the trail. But it's literally going into somebody else's property. So it's a safety issue at the same time. And I looked it up under a couple like searches, like journal article searches, and it came down to like attorney civil law too, what Terry's saying. So I don't think we need to nitpick. I mean, the cops aren't going to go, "Ooh, I see him pooping. I'm going to wait and see if they pick it up." Like,
yeah,
I think that guy needs to be advised to go to civil law.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things, and that's what the police talk about is it's hard if they get people just want to call in about it, but if they see it, it's easier for them to do it. You know.
I will prepare one, but my feelings won't be hurt at all if council says no. So.
Well, I like it too because I just sign it, and then if they really get upset about it, I say council did it. You know, so I don't have a problem with it. Okay, Liz, do you have, Josh, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, you was just a dog poop. Eric.
I don't have anything. I'm not in favor of the ordinance for dog poop. That's just getting a little too over the top to me. That's a civil matter with your neighbors. Just my 2 cents. That's all I have.
Okay, now don't forget our next meeting is on June the 1st. We're having a hearing at 6 o'clock prior to the meeting. People will, I don't anticipate a lot of people there, but we will have masks for everybody. We're going to ask them to distance. I'm going to have the Zoom set up I plan on being here, but the Zoom will be set up so we can have Liz included or anybody else that doesn't want to be at the meeting. And, but it will be at Village Hall because of the hearing. And with that being said, I need a motion to pay bills and claims.
I'll make a
I'll make,
motion.
go ahead, Liz.
Sorry, Derek. I'll make a motion to pay bills and claims.
I'll second.
Okay, and Derek. And I need to, a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we got to vote on it.
Huh?
Vote on bills and claims.
Do we really? Okay. Pat Winkart,
Yes.
I'm used to her saying 6 ayes and I don't pay attention. Okay. Justin,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
Daniel, Josh,
Aye.
Derek,
Aye.
5, 6. And I need a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Second.
And Liz, okay.
Oh my God.
Pat Winkart,
Aye.
I to adjourn.
right?
Or adjourn or not?
Yes.
Justin Klein,
Aye.
Liz Erbaugh,
Aye.
Daniel Rouse. Josh Smith.
No.
Aye.
Josh Smith. Derek.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Liz, now, you recorded that to the,
I recorded it to my computer, but I'll figure out how to put it in the cloud. You're good.
okay, because you have an option to do it to the cloud.
Yep.
Okay,
All right, guys. Stay safe and have a good week.
okay,
I'm gonna stop recording.
yep.
Let me stop share.
Ooh, now I like that better.